In ancient India, there was a king who one day had a very wise man, a wise sage come to him. The king asked the sage and said, "Can you tell me, who am I?" The sage smiled and said back to him, "Do you know when before you were born, who were you?" The king thought about it and said, "I don't know." The sage smiled and said, "Do you know what you'll be once you die?" The king thought and said, I don't know. So finally, the sage says, "Why are you so certain that you know who you are right now?" The king spent the rest of the life living like a mystery, like he didn't know himself. And for the first time, he felt truly alive. We live in a world that's obsessed with identity. I am successful, I am creative, I am broken, I'm healed. We build entire characters and personas around our identity, and we do our best to create a perfect version, and we try to live to it. And every time somebody attacks that, we defend it like it's under attack. But here's what you're missing. The moment you define who you really are exactly, that's the moment you close possibilities to who you can become, right? We become this fixed noun every time we decide very concretely who we are, instead of being this verb, this flow of a process that's happening. We become a fixed thing, a story that we repeat to ourselves. And then life in this moment cannot really touch us. But what if you lived your life like it's a mystery? Not lost, not confused, but genuinely unknown. Every morning you wake up, you can ask yourself, who am I today? Not as a crisis question to find an answer, but as a possibility of who you can be today. If you're not performing a set script that you set years ago of the person you are, you really don't know today would be a fresh day. You don't know what you'll create. You don't know who you'll meet. You don't know how you'll respond. And that's what life, it's like you're meeting yourself every single day, fresh and unknown. Because when you don't know who you are, that's when really something fresh and alive can touch you. A new thought can enter you, a new inspiration, a new feeling can move through your body, and a new version of you can come forward. But if you've already decided who you are, then there is no space for anything new, right? You've closed the door, you've locked it, and you've thrown away the keys. This world is dying and desperate to be something, someone important, somebody important to recognize, somebody who's very confident, certain. Everybody's performing an act, an identity. This is who I am. This is what I'm about. This is my brand. This is my story. And if you criticize it, they will defend it like it's under attack. They'll fight for it, and they'll protect it at any cost. Because without an identity, they really don't know what else is left. But you, in this world that is trying to be something, you can choose to be nothing. Empty, not lost, not confused, but something that's undefined, something that's unfinished, still unfolding, and something that's open to infinite possibility. A blank page instead of a finished story, a question instead of an answer, a complete mystery to yourself instead of this monument you're trying to build. And here's what happens when you start living your life this way. You stop defending yourself because there's nothing to defend. You stop performing yourself because there is no script you're trying to follow. You stop limiting yourself because you haven't decided and defined what you're capable of and what you're not capable of here. You become an infinite possibility. Not because you're special or because you're undefined, and undefined can become infinite. The sage never told the king who he was. He just gently reminded him that he never really knew who he was, and he could live like a mystery to himself. And that's when we come alive and really become